hike up to Dana Village, the first thing you encounter is this stone cabin. It's a very curious feature. There's not much else up here, and you might wonder, why is there a stone cabin here in this place? It seems kind of random. And the more you wander around the upper part of this ridge, you see evidence of these cabins all over the place, and you wonder, what were people doing up here? The next thing you'll notice about this area is that the rocks here are very different. Unlike the rest of Yosemite, which is granite, these are older metamorphic rocks, and the contact between those two rocks is a great place to find things like gold and silver. So if you were a miner walking around here in the 1870s or 1880s, and you were looking for places to mine, these rocks are exactly the kind of things you'd be looking for.
So these mines are right about 11,000 feet above sea level. Up there, even in the summertime, it could get windy and cold. And these miners actually spent the winter up there. So imagine gale force winds, so much snow, avalanche danger. They were really working under difficult, cold conditions.
And of course, they were working very hard. They're moving rocks by hand, digging by hand through rocks. It was probably an incredible amount of hard work and suffering, but they were motivated because if it paid off, they were going to be rich.
Because there's this promise and speculation that this was going to be the largest silver ledge of the whole Sierra Nevada range. And a lot of speculators and assessors were thinking it was worth millions of dollars, and that's back in the 1880s.
And it didn't take very long digging by hand into these very hard rocks to discover that they needed some more equipment in order to dig the kind of tunnels that they knew they needed to dig.
As they got more and more people interested in it, they decided to build a little town below the mountain peak and start tunneling through the mountain. And so there was a decision to bring in hydraulic pumps and equipment to help these miners get through the mountain faster. And they decided to bring 16,000 pounds of machinery and equipment from San Francisco.
And amazingly, they did all of this by hand, by human power, in the winter time, dragging the equipment on sleds from Lundy Canyon to Bannetville, which is a few miles and several thousand feet elevation gain.
A lot of rope and tackle just to pull it up the mountain range. It took them 2 months. And at the end of that, the head foreman said, "Now I know why men grow old."
And when they finally got the equipment to Bannetville in May of 1882, they knew they needed a better way to get equipment there. So beginning in 1882 and in 1883, they built a road to Bannetville from Big Oak Flat across the Sierra Nevada, and that road today is essentially the Tioga Road. There are various reasons why the mining ultimately stopped, but more than anything, it had to do with investor interest. With years going by, a lot of investment, no results, eventually they moved their investments to other more profitable mines.
So the Golden Crown mine is right near Mono Pass, which is about 10,600 feet above sea level. And right there, there are still some of the white bark pine trees, and that's what the miners use to build their houses. That does feel like a ghost town to me. I don't know if it's the wood, and the wood just has this decayed look. It's very aged wood. It still looks really in good condition for being around for over 100 20 or 130 years.
When you're visiting these mine areas, it's very important to remember that these are historic sites. The cabins are fragile. We need to preserve those.
The National Park Service is here to protect both the natural and cultural resources, and the mining history in Yosemite is a significant story in the human history of Yosemite National Park.
For me, as a geologist, this area is fascinating just because of the rocks. But I think really more of the value of this place is in the history. Not just the written history, but the history that you can still see today in the form of these cabins, the mine shafts themselves, some of the remnant material that's left over. That's really where the real value of these ghost towns lies.